Hey, what's happening, North Texas? Time for the July section traffic manager update. Gosh, already. As always, any feedback on these or any questions, feel free to throw something in the comments or send me an email, Kilo 8 Alpha Mike Hotel at ARRL.net. Why don't we get started by talking about some exciting news? We've got some new official relay stations here in the North Texas section. For those unfamiliar, official relay stations, or ORSs, are amateur radio operators that have really shown a deep commitment to traffic handling and the art of quality relaying when moving those messages through the system. And it's with great excitement to announce that we have 4 new official relay stations here in this section, and they are Justin, KF5 IVJ, Ron, KF5 OMH, David, KG5 VSR, and Melissa, KI5 GRH. And my congratulations to them and my thanks for their dedication to traffic handling and for jumping in on traffic nets and acting as liaisons, acting as net control stations. Very, very, very much appreciated. Well, in July, the ARRL kicked off its Learning Network, which is a series of webinars where hams, such as you or me, anybody that's got a topic that they're interested in deep diving in, can give a presentation to their fellow hams to help explain some of the many, many things we could do with amateur radio. Had the pleasure of kicking that series off with relay stations and the art of traffic handling as its first webinar. And you could view a recording of that webinar, and you can also see upcoming webinars on the ARRL Headquarters webpage at arrl.org/ARRL-learning-network. And by the way, our very own section manager, Steve Lott Smith, KG5EK, he's got a session coming up on this Thursday, the 13th at 2:30 p.m., Introduction to Computer Logging. So make sure you register for that so that you can get in there and attend. Again, same web address to be able to sign up for that. Also in July, I had the pleasure of speaking on the Ham On Radio program, which is a 1-hour show each week that discusses various ham radio topics, and naturally we talked about traffic handling. This was on the July 15th episode, and if you would like to listen online to the recording, find out more about the radio program and also about the podcast that goes with it, so you can sign up for that, visit k8amh.com, and there will be a link right on the homepage to be able to listen online. All right, let's jump into the traffic statistics. And last month I mentioned I had a feeling that traffic numbers would go down for July, and that's exactly what happened. But the good news is, compared to last year, our numbers are very much up. So if we take a look here at the last 4 months, June having field day traffic in it, of course, gives us a little bit of a bump, but we're starting to see the numbers stabilize a bit after the increase based on pen pal traffic and trivia traffic here in the section. So last month, 453 pieces of traffic moved through NTS affiliated traffic nets. And I'm hoping that these numbers will remain where they're at. A little early to call whether or not this is where things will stabilize, but it really looks good. And again, as I mentioned, we are up from a year ago. Last year, 259 pieces of traffic relayed in July, whereas for this year, 453. So we're up over 74% compared to last year. It's very, very exciting to see, and I really hope that trend continues. So I have some news related to the Public Service Honor Roll, but before I get into that, like last month I gave you a quick dive on station activity reports. Well, this month I'm going to give you a quick dive on Public Service Honor Roll. So what is that? Well, that's recognition from the ARRL related to your efforts in serving the public. So for stations that are very active in public service and providing amateur radio services, you can earn points based on 6 categories, and then each month add those up to come up with your PSHR score. And who can qualify for recognition based on their scores? Well, any Any ham, as long as you earn 70 or more points. And so participating in traffic nets, of course, is one way to help qualify. And also ARRI's Amateur Radio Emergency Service. You can qualify based on your ARRI's participation. There's lots of details available, of course, at arrl.org/public-service-honor roll. I'm going to give you a kind of quick intro into it. And of course, if you have deeper questions, please feel free to reach out to me direct. So 6 categories. We'll go into each one a little bit, but just very briefly, public service nets, handling messages, serving in ARRL volunteer positions, participating in scheduled nets or public service events or unscheduled emergencies, and also providing digital traffic handling and email or web. So we'll dive into that. The first category, public service nets, essentially every time you check into a public service net or an emergency net, so NTS, ARRI's, RACI's, or Skywarn, those types of nets, you get 1 point for every net you attend, maximum 40 each month. Category 2 is related to formal message handling. Of course, radiograms through traffic system counts, but also ICS 213s, the general message forms, can count for that. If you did watch last month's video, we went into station activity reports, and that's essentially how this category is scored. So I'll point you back to last month if you want more details there. But again, here, maximum 40 points per month, just like the last category. Category 3 is volunteer positions through ARRL. You get 10 points per position or appointment with a max 30. Some of those appointments that qualify include public information officer, section traffic manager, section emergency coordinator, NTS net managers, official relay stations. There's a larger list up on ARRL's webpage, but if you're in an ARRL appointed position, you get 10 points per appointment, max 30. Category 4 is for participation in scheduled public service events, so walkathons, bikeathons, parades, sets, simulated emergency tests. This also includes time needed to plan and coordinate involvement before the public service event. So whether that's planning for the walkathon or maintaining membership records for ARRI's, conducting ARRI's trainings, participating in ARRI's trainings, so that could be on-air training nets, you get 5 points per hour rounded up. So that means if you participate, for example, for an hour and 5 minutes, well, that's 10 points because it rounds up to the next whole hour, and there's no maximum on this. Category 5 is very similar. This is for the unplanned responses. And so think Skywarn nets, or if you've been sent to the EOC or the scene of an incident, those types of things where you're providing assistance via amateur radio. So that can mean, for example, if you're checked into or participating in a Skywarn net as a spotter, whether you're at home or you're out in the field, you get 5 points for every hour that you are providing this assistance during these unplanned emergencies. And again, just like category 4, no maximum, and you round up to the nearest hour. So 1 hour and 5 minutes equals 2 hours, which is 10 points. Category 6 is for those that are maintaining digital systems that handle radiogram traffic. So essentially, if you're participating in the digital traffic net, that would be where you qualify for that. Or if you maintain either website, or an email list server that is oriented towards amateur radio public service, you get 10 points for each digital system, website, or email list server. So for example, if you have 2 web pages you maintain related to amateur radio public service, well, you get 10 points for each one, so 20 points. And again, no maximum on this one either. The way stations report those is they collect their data, do the mathematics, and if the scores are at least 70, then you can turn in a report. And here in the North Texas section, those go to me, and I'm very much interested in them regardless of your participation in traffic handling. Any station can earn PSHR recognition as long as you get at least 70 points. So you can send your reports via radiogram if you're a traffic handler, or email me at k8amh@arrl.net. And for your first report, I might have some questions just to make sure you have everything in the right buckets and that type of thing. But if you do have questions on how to put things together or that type of thing, please feel free to reach out. So what happens if you get 70 or more points? Well, you get recognition from ARRL. In the monthly QST magazine, there is a section in there listing stations that have qualified for PSHR recognition. And if you qualify either for 12 consecutive months Or if during a 24-month period you've qualified for at least 18 of those, you are eligible for a one-time certificate from ARRL Headquarters. And that's what brings me to this exciting announcement for this month, which is John, KF5IOU, has qualified for Public Service Honor Roll certificate from ARRL Headquarters based on his PSHR scores over the last 12 months. So, John, I know you've been very involved in the traffic nets, and you've probably qualified for this several times over. But my time as section traffic manager, I've been keeping an eye out on things, and you've qualified, and I'm going to make sure you get your certificate. Congratulations, and thank you so much for your dedication to public service, both in the traffic system and just to your community through amateur radio, all up. All right, with that, we'll jump into upcoming events. Here's what's coming up in the North Texas section. All right, that brings us to a close for the July update. Please be sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments or shoot me an email. You can follow me on Twitter. That's ARRLNTXSTM. You can find out more about the traffic system and traffic handling. The information's on my webpage, Kilo8, alphamikehotel.com. You can also subscribe to my section traffic manager email list. You can find out information about the North Texas section, including upcoming events and things like that. That's at arrlntx.org. As always, thank you so much for helping keep traffic moving through this section, and have a good August. And we'll catch you in September. 73, everybody.